That's a nice embryo right there. You can really see that. Look at those vessels. You see those blood vessels? That's feeding it with oxygen. And then the egg is permeable, meaning that the oxygen can pass through the egg and then feed those vessels, and then the vessels feed the embryo with nice, fresh, oxygenated blood. What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here for Muscle Serpents Daily, and I am here in the rain. That's right, it's raining. We have a tropical storm coming here in Cape Coral today, but that's good news because usually during storms we have good breeding behavior. But we also have a bunch of clutches that we're going to pull today, and one is very interesting. It's a little experiment I did, and you're going to find out what that is when we go into the snake room, and it involves scaleless animals. So without further ado, without propelling and extending this mystery any longer than it has to be because I'm getting soaked, let's go and see some snakes. You know the old saying, you can't win them all? Well, this is one of those you can't win them all clutches. This was a pastel hurricane het clown, and I know you almost can't make out the fact that she's het hurricane. I mean, excuse me, that she's hurricane, because pastel really erases hurricane a lot, and I really thought she wasn't. But I said, you know what? I know pastel erases hurricane, and I know het clown can also do that as well, even though it's not visual. And so I bred this girl 2 years ago, and I got hurricanes out of her. So she's het hurricane, so she's proven het hurricane for sure. And I bred her to, it was an interesting pairing actually. I wanted to see what I would get. I bred her to a possible Super Orange Dream Ultramel Cryptic. So in hopes to make Orange Dream Kryptons, because remember the Cryptic and that she's carrying the het for, and then she's het clown, and then the other one's Cryptic. We would have produced Kryptons because that's one copy of Cryptic, one copy of Clown, and you get Kryptons. That would have been really nice, and they all would have been het Ultramel. So I think we actually have one good egg there, so you never know. We could get lucky. Worst case scenario is we're going to have Orange Dream. I guess you could say het. If we could have Orange Dream, we would have het Cryptics. That's the worst we can do. The best we can do would be Orange Dream, Hurricane, Kryptons. We have one egg to do it in, it looks like. We're going to get her off here, and then we'll take a look at her eggs. All right, she's all cleaned up. She's looking really beautiful. She's actually looking really pretty healthy. Even though, I guess maybe because she didn't have that many eggs, she's really, she had a lot of slugs. Didn't take as much energy out of her. So she seems like she's got, some good mass on her still. So she'll probably breed pretty easily next year again. We'll get her up to size. Hopefully she'll start eating again. She's got a nice little pinched off head there. Definitely a nice snake. It's definitely not a regular pastel. You could tell there's something else in it, and obviously the other something in it is the hurricane. So, hey, we got one egg. Let's see if there's any vessels in it. All right, our pastel het clown female did great. She's all empty. You can see her. See those little hollow right in that area? That's where the eggs were. And we're going to leave her and let her rest and recover. Once again, for the price of a pastel het clown nowadays, it's always good to have a couple of those in your collection, because man, you can breed a really high-end clown to them and get some really nice babies. And you know what? There's no way anyone will ever tell me that a het clown is not a valuable asset to any collection. Look what we got. Clutch of babies. I wanted to see the male. This is my pastel banana clown that I got from Royal Constrictor Designs, probably about 7 or 8 years ago. This was my first really high-end ball python I got. He looked like Picasso painting, and that's why I named him Picasso. And Garrick DeMeyer gave me a nice little deal with him and 2 females. The female still hasn't bred. Although this is the het female that he threw in for free. And so, can you believe this? 2014s these are, and we got a clutch. She's actually produced for me before. And so we have a banana pastel clown bred to pastel het clown, and we'll produce some nice banana pastel and banana super pastel clown, hopefully. And everything's looking good. can't discount a good head. Sometimes the visuals will make you cry and you won't produce anything. So this is just the moral of the story: is always get a good head if it's offered to you at a good price. Hedge your bets. This boy, I'm telling you, he was my favorite ball python. I thought that this was the greatest snake of all time when I bought him. Banana Pastel Clown. You know, obviously as they get older, you know, they kind of smudge out a little bit, these guys. But when he was born, oh, was he spectacular. He's one of my best breeders. This guy is so consistent. He's got really light eyes. So, all right, we're gonna pull this clutch Pablo and I and see what we got. All right, there it is. 5 monster eggs. These are huge eggs. These are just gigantic, healthy looking eggs. Hopefully they all have vessels and embryos in them. We'll take a look at them. We'll candle them. Maybe I'll even show you how I candle them again. I've shown you before, but a lot of people seem to like that. Helps them out. And then we will put them in my dragon hatch trays, and we'll put them in the incubator. All right, guys, we're gonna candle some eggs here, and we're gonna see if we got vessels. Let's take a look. I got my cell phone here, and we're gonna put them right up to the eggs. If you can zoom in here, Pop, and you can show people. See, there's the embryo floating around there. There's all the vessels that are feeding that embryo, giving it life. And so we want to make sure the embryo is up when we put the eggs up, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put that right in our little dragon hatch trays here. And then we'll come back here and we'll take the rest of the eggs. I kind of separated them already so I wouldn't have to do it on camera. There's the embryo right there. You can see all the little vessels. If the camera's picking that up, feeding this embryo. I'm gonna put this over here. Grab another one. There it is. There's a nice that's a nice embryo right there. You can really see that. Look at those vessels. You see those blood vessels? That's feeding it with oxygen. And then the egg is permeable, meaning that the oxygen can pass through the egg and then feed those vessels, and then the vessels feed the embryo with nice, fresh, oxygenated blood. Let's put these over here. Another one. Here's the embryo right here. We've been getting lucky with them right there. So these are all looking really healthy, these eggs. And the great thing about these dragon hatch trays is, you see, with big eggs like this, they normally roll a lot because they're round and they're full of, all their nice egg white material. These won't let them roll. Last one. And this one is right. I think we got it here. This one's like right around here, right here. It's kind of a little dark, this one. But you can see it's right there. So we're gonna put this right here. And we got 5 good eggs. Separate them a little bit. And put these in the incubator, and they're gonna be good to go. That's the way it goes here. All right, another clutch for today, but this one is a special one, and I'll tell you why. This is a pinstripe scaleless head. So you can see the scales missing on her head. Obviously, the scaleless head, when it's bred in the homozygous form, 2 copies, you'll get a completely scaleless animal. Well, that was the Brian Barczyk line of scaleless animals that was originally put into the hobby. This girl, you can see, look, she's just a pinstripe, and look at how aberrant the pinstriping looks on her, that's because the scaleless head gene changes things. It lightens things, it moves pattern around. It's not just about creating a scaleless animal or a few missing scales on the head. Now, I also deal with the other line of scaleless animal, which is known as the microscale, which are those small mini-scaled ball pythons that also are missing scales on their head. And when you breed a microscale to microscale, you can produce a super microscale, which is also a scaleless snake, or a snake without scales. So I decided I want to see if these lines are compatible with each other, because some people say they are, some people say they aren't, some people say it's completely different. My theory has always been that the scaleless and the microscale itself is separate from each other, but I've yet to prove that. But I bred a microscale clown, male, to this scaleless head pinstripe, female, and we have what looks to be 4 pretty good eggs. They maybe they're a little dry, but we'll get them all juiced up again. And the question is, will we get a totally scaleless animal in this clutch, especially if we hit the odds? That's the question. We only have 4 eggs. It's usually a 25% chance, so we could miss the odds. But if we produce a scaleless animal, then that would prove once and for all, and there are probably other people that might have proved this already, I don't know, that these two lines are compatible with each other. The great thing about this clutch is that all the babies will be head clown. So we might produce some scaleless, we might produce some scaleless head. And the question will there be all microscales? Will some of them be microscales? That's going to be, this was an experiment, really. This was not something that I needed to do. I needed to do it for my mind, because my mind was saying, I want answers. Hopefully we'll get some answers here. All right, there are our eggs, 4 good ones. They all have vessels in them. They're a little dimply, I don't know why, but we'll get them all rehydrated. I don't know if they're hydrated or not, or sometimes they just get like a wrinkly appearance to them. They look like little brains almost, the convolutions in them. But yeah, they had vessels and everything looked good. So hopefully the ability for oxygen to pass through them will be fine, and they'll get nice and a little bit more hydrated than they are right now. But I've hatched eggs like this, and it doesn't seem to affect their viability. So hopefully we will, out of these 4, maybe we'll see a super scaleless and super scaleless head, which will be a scaleless animal, and that would right there confirm the compatibility of these. The question, like Pablo said, is what will they look like? Will they be microscale? Will they not be microscale? It's going to be interesting to see what we get. So stay tuned, and in 60 days we'll know. Okay, snake fans, that's going to do it for today, because it is raining here and I don't want to stand outside any longer than I have to. Why didn't I do this inside? Because I forgot. And when you have a cast, you can't get it wet. So I have to have a plastic bag on my foot there. Very, very stylish, right? To have a garbage bag on your cast. As you say, actually, I was just telling Pablo that in New York, if it was raining like this, it would be brutally bitter cold. You'd feel the rain down to the core of your bones. Here in Florida, when it rains, it's kind of actually refreshing, I think. It almost feels good to get a little sprinkle. The air is good. There's a lot of negative ions in the air, which is good for mental focus and just feeling good about yourself. So when it's raining, if you can do it, get outside. Enjoy the rain. It's only a little water. You're not going to melt. You're not the Witch of the West, right? Anyone know that reference? That means you're old. All right, guys. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit the like button, and we'll see you back Monday morning.